This is Oddworld Munch's Oddysee, which is a fun kind of play on the titling. We're on the Nintendo Switch, and this is sort of a ported over original Xbox game that also, I think, went to some other platforms and everything like that over the years. But the game's back on Switch, and it's actually running quite well. So story-wise, right now we're playing as Abe, the, fan-favorite character of the series, at least I think so. And then you also largely play as this character called Munch. So Munch is the last of his species, which is like a frog type people. Basically, you know, it's a really sad opening where Munch is kind of like singing and trying to find everyone. There used to be lots of his people, and then, you know, one day they were going along and all those people were gone, and then when he finally does find a song to sing to, it actually turns out that that's a trap, and he becomes trapped, and then you have to kind of go through this and go and help him. So yeah, it's kind of a really interesting sort of game in that regard. So it's mostly a puzzle-based experience where you are solving these issues, either using your pals here or going through the factory as Munch, kind of like zapping things and stuff like that. So it's more of a, I guess you could say, almost laid-back type of game in that regard, but there is a lot of danger. A lot of the themes in the Oddworld games are about, like, consumption and, you know, kind of like consumerism and I guess stuff like that, and you can see that that's present here. I hope this isn't, like, doing a feedback here. I'm totally getting, like, bogged down by the But yeah, it's got some neat controls in regards to, like, handling your squad here. And again, it is kind of a little bit different when you are playing with the Munch character, right? Because it's a different perspective on the game. You know, we can throw guys over. How exciting! So yeah, you collect these things and everything. It's interesting, you know. And I like the command things where it's like, hey guys, oh, we actually do have to throw these guys over. Totally forgot. But yeah, you can tell it's an older game, obviously, from the time we just played the one with the recent Hunter one. Okay, so I will mention that while the game, you know, does run well and everything like that, it looks pretty good on the Switch. The gameplay is presented in a widescreen, which is really nice, whereas the cutscenes are in a 4:3, so they're not widescreen, but they do actually look pretty good and hold up fairly well. This part is funny. So you're just like kind of picking up your guys because they're like really incompetent. I don't want to do that. Get over here. So yeah, they got some like funny, neat mechanics to it. It's got like a fairly good length to the actual game and everything like that. Stop pressing that. Stay there, buddy. Okay, we need to get you. Come on. Let's... No! Why does it keep doing that? Oh, okay, we got this. But yeah, it's kind of like an easygoing, basically, puzzle-type game. It's very different from the last one we played, with this thing driving me absolutely crazy because you need to get there. There we go. Now we got you. I wasn't expecting that. My bad. Anyways, oh, it costs 10 spooge. Okay, so we do have a currency system that we're using. Like I was mentioning, two aspects to the gameplay. You know, obviously doing this kind of thing, using Abe, listening to the big tree, and then the other side of the gameplay, a little bit different puzzle-based, where you're working as Munch to get things done. It's got a decent gameplay length to it. It's nice that it's back on, you know, a console platform and it's looking as good as it does. I would really like to see this available for, you know, obviously more platforms in the future. I think that would be really nice to see because it does, I think, you know, visually hold up fairly well in terms of the quality and the design of the world and the themes that are present. I think that's really interesting. and it's just kind of a unique and weird game. I think I kind of like that about the Oddworld titles. You know, they're very much of their time, and we haven't really seen enough of them, quite honestly, since then. I mean, they did some recent releases, and they're bringing stuff back. But anyways, you get the gist of what I'm going for, is they were so creative in that the different titles were different types of games. And, you know, we just kind of almost lost that over the years because they haven't really done them. And it just seems like there's the potential for this world to have a lot of life to it, because these are like really funky, weird games that I think would be good nowadays as like weird indie spin-off titles within the like the world to build the lore and stuff. And we just don't really, you know, get that kind of experience anymore. It'd be nice if there was like sort of a almost a master collection, as to say, would be really cool to see. Even on the Switch, I think that's kind of what they're building towards by offering all these different releases within the franchise, so you get to see what they're like. Because you gotta remember, Oddworld traditionally is like a bit of a defenseless, you're a defenseless character doing like side-scrolling and everything like that, and trying to discover what's going on. I also like that there's a quiet sense here. I don't know if... Okay, guys. We're gonna have you guys stand here while we deal with this guy. I thought we had more of our squad. Isn't there more guys? I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of a creative series in that it's so versatile for you to be able to do all these different things within it. Because the other one was like a shooter, then that one's like a bit of a platformer. This one, you know, you're doing like more puzzle solving. You know what I gotta do?
I'll be back.
I gotta tell him to wait. I like the sounds they make. It's like, hey, just chilling. I gotta. You know, it's funny, right? You know, it's just got like a bit of a humor to it, which I think is neat. Hey guys. Hey.
There's my bud. What's happening?
Maybe we forgot to say hello to some guys. Yeah, that could be it too.
I'll be back. Don't you worry.
No, I want these guys to come. Everybody come. Everybody, we're going. But yeah, you know, it runs well. It's a weird title, and I hope I've been kind of showing that from the gameplay. Like, this is at the start of the game too, so this is like very early on, and it just kind of introduces you to a lot of the concepts in regards to like the characters, what you're doing, what the general goal is, and then it gets a little bit different, obviously, with the other character perspective. I have no idea what happened here. Anyways, let's keep on progressing here. And it is a nice little entry within the series. I think it's kind of a little bit fun to play. It's kind of got like a quirky humor to it. I don't know if you've noticed, but there is a slight, you know, like a stutter to it as well, which isn't necessarily the biggest deal, but I can see, you know, not necessarily the perfect performance. You do get these like larger open areas, but very much, again, you're seeing that within the visuals that this is a product of its time, and that's why a lot of the textures are very basic. I'm actually surprised about the tree quality. Like, I mean, the trees don't look good at all, but I mean, for the era, right, they're kind of interesting trees to look at, and I think that's sort of neat. And it does have like some little quirky physics to it, especially with like the jumping and the weird characters. It's not really a title you'd see like as of recent, right? This kind of weird style to it. I think that's kind of really neat, and then it gives you, it's kind of linear, right? But you're also given a little bit of freedom as you do stuff. The power of meditation. Ooh, which you gotta buy, I believe, at the station. Oh, yeah. So you actually got to collect these things in order to buy stuff. And it's just neat different perspectives, right? That's what I'm trying to get across. You know, we've got, you know, Abe doing his thing here. And then we've got our little pal Munch with that tragic backstory. They all kind of have a tragic backstory just in regards to, like, you know, this corporation coming in, basically, like, ravaging their worlds, which is kind of interesting, at least in my opinion. Especially with, like, the deep backstory and the fact that, you know, in the foreground we have this, like, really funky, messed up society and all that that's going on between the creatures and inhabitants of this planet. It's interesting, right? It's kind of a neat title. And I hope I've been showcasing it all right in regards to kind of what to expect. I've just kind of been trying to push this beginning area because I thought it would be a good one, just to kind of show you, kind of what some of the gameplay is like, how it's running on the platform. It also, it looks fine on the docked, undocked, it's more shrunk picture. On a 4K, it's actually not too bad. It's got really, clean kind of visuals. There's not really any of that jagged edges from, lack of anti-aliasing. This is actually a very smooth sort of looking game in terms of the visual presentation. The sound quality is all good. I guess the only thing to really note that I don't really have much of a problem with myself is the basically the 4x3 cutscenes parts. Hey guys. But yeah, for the most part, it scales quite well in my opinion. Looks pretty good. Is that magnifying? Yeah. Throw his pals. It's kind of funny. I like the throwing thing to me. Just kind of I don't know. I find it really, really humorous. You know what I mean? This can be like, hey guys, just calm down. And then you just pick up a guy. You just throw him. It's whatever. We all running, guys? Or do you guys just want to stay here? You guys stay here while I go find more items? Yeah, that's fine. But it's just kind of a fun little quirky weird game. Something a little bit different. Something neat to enjoy. And I think you'll get somewhat of a little bit of a sorrow feeling, a definite sense of empathy in regards to how this opens with the characters, seeing the perspective of, Munch kind of coming here and he's like a little thing dashing around trying to find out what happened. Oh, so that's where you guys have been.
Don't you worry.
Yeah, chilling around here. But yeah, I'd say generally this is a fine showcase of the title on the platform. It's looking good. I think it's, in my opinion, running better than the previous Switch entry did, so that's good. And it's just kind of an enticing and weird sort of game to check out. It's very, very odd because it's part of the Oddworld. But I think some of the themes and the concepts and the design of the game do hold well over the years, especially since it has been so long since the initial release of it, the initial release of the other games, and I do, again, hope that we get to see confined packages of this maybe on other platforms ported in the future. Even on the Switch, it'd be nice to see, a full kind of collection, as to say, of all the games once they're done releasing them. Because I think there's maybe another one that follows this. It's been a long time since I've looked into the series, aside from, when I revisited the last one when it came to Switch. Now seeing this one on Switch is nice too, because they are such a unique style of franchise and such a different kind of game to play. It's cool. So yeah, that's Oddworld Munch's Oddysee. I think I'm saying that right. It's a funny, weird, it's not like Oddysee, it's a play on that. That's what I'm trying to get across if you're wondering what I'm talking about. The titling is actually correct for this one, if you are curious.